Hello and welcome to my new Guitar-Nerdery video number 135. This is an extension, a further extension of my Guitar-Nerdery episode 116 about memorizing intervals. This time I'm going to show you what complementary intervals are and how they can help you to picture intervals on your guitar fretboard even better. Learning about musical intervals is the key to understand chords and scales, and to be able to visualize them on your guitar fretboard as a guitar player is a crucial thing to identify chords and scales. In my Guitar-Nerdery episodes number 116 and 117, you will learn everything you need to know to be able to do this, to picture intervals on your guitar fretboard. But this time, what I'm going to show you today is a nice add to this. It can make it even faster for you to identify greater intervals, in particular on the high E string. A complementary interval is, when added to its original interval, it spans an octave in total. I'm going to explain and show it to you with the interval patterns I showed in my Guitar-Nerdery episode 116, memorizing intervals. Just for remembrance, I'm going through all them shapes. 2 times the same note. That's the starting point. It's interval 0. So the complementary interval would be an octave itself. So this is not what we're going to talk about today. We start with the minor second, major second, minor third, major third, perfect fourth, augmented fourth or diminished fifth, perfect fifth, augmented fifth or minor sixth, major sixth, minor seventh, major seventh. These interval shapes give you already enough information and possibilities of visualization to identify them complementary intervals. Like with showing you them intervals, I'm going to use the note A on the low E string as the root. And now I also gonna visualize the octave, the span we need for the original interval and its complementary. Starting with the minor second, I play that now on 1 string. It's A and B flat. It spans only 1 halftone, so its complementary must span 11 halftones that they together span an octave. So 1 halftone step, minor second, and 11 halftone steps is a major seventh. This is that major seventh interval shape, and you see, I land on the octave. This we can also do, of course, for all them further intervals. A major second needs to add a minor seventh to get to the octave. A minor third, 3 halftone steps, need an added interval of 9 halftone steps, the major sixth, to get to the octave. And the major third, 4 halftone steps, needs to add an interval of 8 halftone steps, the minor sixth. And here the perfect fourth, we need to add an interval of 7 halftone steps, the perfect fifth, to make it an octave. And the tritonus, that's the symmetric interval, 6 halftone steps, need to add 6 halftone steps. So tritonus or diminished fifth plus a diminished fifth makes an octave. And then we have it the other way around. Before this, we added to the perfect fourth the perfect fifth. Now we have a perfect fifth and we have to add a perfect fourth to to get to the octave. Next interval, the minor 6. 8 halftone steps, so we need to add a major third with 4 halftone steps. The next interval, a major 6, 9 halftone steps, and its complementary interval is a minor third with 3 halftone steps. Then we get to the minor 7th, 10 halftone steps, so we have to add a major 2nd with 2 halftone steps. And the last interval, the major 7th with 11 halftone steps, we have to add a minor 2nd. And then the next interval is already the octave itself. So what is it actually good for to learn this? 2 things. It makes it even faster and easier to recognize great intervals like major 7th and minor 7th. And when you want to find, from the point of view of the high E string, an interval, all these interval shapes I showed you go upwards, but there are no further strings. And that's why I showed you in my second video the trick with them octaves. You put a note an octave lower, so then you can add again your interval shapes. And this now with them complementary intervals is another way. I'm going to use now the note A on the high E string, and I want to identify intervals from there. The first 4 intervals are easy because they equal them learned interval patterns. The minor 2nd, the major 2nd, the minor 3rd, and the major 3rd. The next interval is the perfect 4th, and from there on I'm going to use them complementary intervals. And for this you have to realize, you have to know that name giving and identification of intervals has nothing to do with the register in which them intervals are. So a perfect 4th can be lower than its root. The perfect 4th of note A is note D. I can put this D 1 octave lower, but still, if A stays the root, this is the perfect 4th to A. Although you see this interval shape here gives me the information this is a 5th, a perfect 5th. But it would only be a perfect 5th if this would be the root. But when this is the root, this is that complementary interval. So if you learn that a perfect 4th plus a perfect 5th is an octave, and you want to find the perfect 4th from a note on the high E string, you put your perfect 5th shape there and on the B string, and you can read it's the note D. And this way it works with all other intervals. So the next interval would be the diminished 5th from A. That would be a diminished 5th downwards, because a diminished 5th, a tritonus plus a tritonus, equals an octave. So I can read here the E flat is a diminished 5th. Now I want to find the perfect 5th of A, and the perfect 5th 7 halftone steps is the same when I go 5 halftone steps downwards. I land on the note E. The interval shape shows me it's a perfect 4th, but because this is still, the A is still the root, this is the 5th to A, although the factual interval is a perfect 4th. I hope it's not too confusing. Next step, the minor 6, and the complementary interval is a major 3rd. And I put the major 3rd interval shape in a way that the highest note The second note is the note A, the root. But this is with A in the bass, not a major third, but a minor 6. The major 6 from A is a minor third downwards. So I put the minor third interval so that the highest note is still A. With A in the bass, or with A as a root, this isn't a minor third, this is a minor 6 still. Because the root always roots and defines what it is. 2 more complementary intervals to go, the minor 7th and the major 7th. And these 2 I really recommend to learn. They make identifying notes or intervals much easier, because a minor 7th or a major 7th span the distance of 10 or 11 halftone steps. They have a great distance from the root, but they're very close to the octave. And if you learn to think from the point of view of the octave, they are really easy to find. If you want to find the minor 7th and major 7th of the note A on the high E string, and this is not only recommended to do on the high E string, it's, I think, the easiest way on all strings. The minor 7th is just 2 frets down, because the minor 7th is 10 halftone steps and its complementary interval is 2 halftone steps. So this, the G, is the minor 7th, and the major 7th is only 1 fret down, of course, because the major 7th spans 11 halftone steps and its complementary interval is a minor 2nd. So learning complementary intervals for you in future, if you play a riff like this, for example, you shouldn't only think about, okay, I play a D and a C power chord. You should immediately see that this is the minor 7th of D, or such a riff like this. You shouldn't only think about D power chord, C power chord, B flat power chord. No, you see, 2 down is the same as 10 up, and 4 down is the same as 8 up. This is the major 3rd, so it must be a minor 6. This is the major 2nd, so it must be a minor 7th. Or this. You should see that this note is from the D a major 6 in distance, because this is a minor 3rd with 3 halftone steps, and the major 6 is 9. I think you already get my point here. Learning complementary intervals comes in very handy. It's a nice add to what you have already learned with them interval patterns and bridging to other octaves, to other registers with them octave shapes. Having also this knowledge about complementary intervals makes it even easier and faster to get an overview or to identify in an instant what chords and scales are consisting of. In the end, the better you're getting in visualizing musical things on your guitar fretboard brings you closer to the guitar. You get much more connected to it. You start really to think with your instrument. The instrument and you have to be one. I hope you found this interesting, and if you not already have, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'm looking very forward to see you next time.